Big hold by Jose Urquidy keeps it a 2-0 Astros lead. We go to the top half of the fourth inning in game 4, and Houston sends up their 6, 7, 8 batters: Correa, Chirinos, and Marisnick. Patrick Corbin buckled in the first. He gave up the 2 runs on 4 straight singles, which came in a 7-pitch span. But since that rocky first inning, he is just 1 over the minimum. And the first pitch to Correa misses low. I would imagine that it was on Dave Martinez's mind early, given the way that first inning went, Buck, that in a perfect world, Corbin and then some combination of Hudson and Doolittle, and you finish out business. The thing that interrupts that plan is if the starter gets roughed up. So working at a 52 pitch count, opening the fourth, still a chance for him to preserve a longer start if he can accomplish a couple of quick innings, but that's kind of in question at this point.
Yeah, it sure is. And he had a rocky start, as you can see. First 25 pitches, he got just 2 outs. He's settled in a little more effectively since then. But they need him to pitch deeper into this game. You know, Dave Martinez got a pretty good outing from Joe Ross last night. 1 hit, 2 innings. He pitched very well, so that's kind of encouraging that he might have a few more pitchers in play down in that bullpen than he thought.
3-1 to Correa. We'd like to have that pass back, and it's full count now, 3-2.
A little indecision from Correa as he started the swing and then decided, nope, that's not a good one to hit. Watch this very tentative swing.
Lost him on ball 4. Second time Correa's gone to a full count, and that's the second time that a low fastball has put him on base with a walk.
Yeah, he's had a couple of real good at-bats against Patrick Corbin. That ball looked like it caught the bottom of the strike zone. Corbin thought so. I think it was walking toward third, expecting it to be strike 3.
First time that the Astros have put their leadoff hitter aboard tonight. And it'll set up Robinson Chirinos, who'd like to redeem himself for the inning-ending double play ball he hit in the first. You know, Patrick Corbin hit free agency after his final year as a Diamondback. And when it became clear that it was going to cost Arizona too much money to keep him, the list of suitors was long. And it appeared for a long time that the New York Yankees were at the top of that list. Patrick being a Yankee fan, growing up in upstate New York in the Syracuse area. And that speculation was fueled to a fever pitch. Oh my goodness. We'll shelve that story for a moment to bring you Robinson Chirinos' his second home run in as many nights in D.C. That ball was absolutely crushed.
Chirinos had 17 home runs in the regular season. Well, he has turned into a heck of a two-way player. And this is a guy that began his career as an infielder in the Cubs minor league system. 8 seasons as an infielder before he made the conversion. He didn't get to the big leagues till he was 27 years old with the Texas Rangers. And he has become a big part of this team in his first season here in Houston.
Jake Marisnick follows up with a rocket back up the middle. Walk, homer, single against Corbin to start the fourth.
Now this is right. Marisnick is in the game. Chirinos got a high changeup. It looks like it's out over the plate, and again he barrels it up. Head stays on the ball. Big follow through, and this is a no-doubter into the seats in left.
Here's Urquidy now in a bunt situation. We'll see if he can get the bunt down. He did not appear to be super proficient with the bat in his first plate appearance tonight.
You're very kind.
Is that diplomatic enough? nothing that he doesn't know, I'm sure. Marisnick has good speed. And it looks like the heart's not really in the bunt either.
I tell you what, this is such a foreign action for a pitcher that hasn't hit at all. And you can see he's just not comfortable. There's a fear factor that goes into hitting. I think that's something we discount talking about everyday players. And we saw it last night with Ryan Zimmerman when he had that pitch come up and in from Josh James.
I mean, you got to think lesser of two evils here, right? I'd rather have him strike out trying to bunt than ground into a double play.
Absolutely. He's going to bunt again, or he's going to try to bunt again. And AJ Hinch said, you know what? I want him to pitch. I'm not going to get on him for not being able to bunt. You can see Urquidy, he's not comfortable in either of these two plate appearances.
October always has a way of bringing out your Achilles heel. Top of the order due up next. As we mentioned, Marisnick is a good base runner.
Well, he got a piece of it, but that'll be strike 3.
And that'll be the 3rd strikeout of the game for Corbin.
You know what? And you really can't fault Urquidy for not being able to bunt. Just think of how many big league hitters around both leagues, regular players that can't bunt. It's just something that's not called upon very often. And Urquidy, you know, they can't expect him to put a bat on the ball. He has had 4 at-bats all season long.
You know what that is? That's just fold your hand and deal again.
Yep.
Now they've got the top of the order now for George Springer, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Two-run homer by Robinson Chirinos, opening up a 4-run lead for the Astros, their biggest of the series. The changeup that you talked about just kind of tumbled in toward the strike zone, and Chirinos was there to jump on it.
Marisnick wants to run here. He's got a huge lead, and most of the time for a pitcher, when you see that cut out of the grass and a base stealer is out to that edge of that point of the grass, that's a big lead. That's a red flag for a pitcher. You've got to make him get closer, shorten up his lead. Marisnick's got a big lead.
Oh yeah, he was wobbly there too. Two runs in with 1 out and 1 on. And there he goes. Got a big jump. Throw down to second base is not in time.
Now, Gomes didn't have much of a chance to throw Marisnick out. He had a huge lead and got a great break. Corbin's actually pretty good at holding base runners on, but Marisnick had a good read. He was able to see a couple of moves to first, and here he gets a running start. Puts his head down, straight steal. Marisnick for the season had 10 stolen bases in 13 attempts. Gomes can't even get out of his couch because of the great jump at first.
RBI opportunity for Springer now. And he goes around on a ball in the dirt. He does not on the appeal. Those appeals have been very hitter friendly so far with Lance Barksdale at first base. So it's 1-1.
I think that's closer to a check swing than a swing right there. Second look at it.
Springer among the Astros with good career numbers against Patrick Corbin. It's been a couple of years, however, and a lot of those head-to-head samples might not be as telling as you'd think. The last time Patrick Corbin faced the Astros, it was back in 2017. He took a no-hitter into the 9th. Ended up with 8 2/3 of shutout baseball. Ground ball to shortstop on a couple of weak hops for Turner, and 2 away.
Turner is quite a very strong defensive player. He's got a strong arm. He's got quick first steps. And Marisnik, the base runner from second, read it perfectly as he moves over to third on the ground.
Jose Altuve now, he has singled and scored tonight. It seems as though in this series, the Nationals have had to face Jose Altuve every inning or so. He's always lurking around the corner. Singled in the first, was robbed of a double on the great play by Rendon in the third.
Well, that's one of the few swings and misses you will see from Jose Altuve. He was fooled on that first pitch. And now you can see he's taking his time as he gets back into the batter's spot to gather his thoughts and maybe come up with a different approach.
Bunting. Corbin gets on it, throws to first just in the nick of time. A nod of approval from A.J. Hinch, as if that was the intention the entire at-bat. However, Washington